Okay, the next topic, small signal operations and models. So in the small signal operations and models, what we are going to do is we are going to find out the different the currents which are available or which are going to flow in the amplifier circuit of BJT. So until the previous part, whatever we have discussed, we were discussing about the DC current and we were doing DC analysis. But in small signal operations and models, so we are going to consider even the AC signal and how when AC signal is been given, so how the transistor is going to behave and what will be the total instantaneous current. See, total instantaneous current means it is the sum of the DC current as well as the AC current. So when you are going to superimpose this small signal input signal, that is AC signal, over the DC signal, then only you are going to get the instantaneous current. So instantaneous current is the sum of AC plus DC. So before going on to the derivations, all those things, we should understand one thing. In electronics, even a small I, capital I, small c, capital C, small e, capital E has different meanings. So that you should write it carefully. So let us take the example of uh, collector current. See, if I write the collector current, I can write the collector current like this: I small c, I capital C, I with capital C. So these are the different varieties like which I can write the currents. Each of them are having different meaning, even though they are collector currents, but each of them are having different meaning. See, whenever understand it carefully, otherwise in the derivation you'll not understand why we are taking small I, why we are taking suddenly capital I, why we are taking small c, and again we are taking capital C. So and this changes also you have to write it in derivations properly. If you write capital I in the place of small I, then your derivation is wrong. So that's why understand it carefully. See, if both the the letter I and the suffix C both are capital, then it is going to indicate DC current. Okay, if it is both are capital, then it is going to indicate DC current. If both are going to be small, then it is going to both the I and the suffix both are going to be small, then it is going to indicate AC current. One is small and other one is capital letter, then it is going to indicate the instantaneous current. Okay, so instantaneous current is the sum of AC current plus DC current, that is alternating AC and DC. Okay, so this is the basic understanding which you should know before going on to this particular topic. So in this particular topic, we are going to discuss about the equations for collector current. See, equations we have discussed: I is equal to IV plus IC. That is a generalized equation which we have studied already. But now in the small signal operation and models, we are going to consider the input signal, and when input signal is being given, how the amplifier is going to react to it. and on which all the parameters the output current is going to depend. See, we have simply told that it is IC is equal to beta times IB. But along with the beta, there are different parameters in the transistor which has its effect over the output current, like base emitter voltage we are having, and we are having transconductance of the transistor. So these are the different parameters which has its effect over the output. And always here, small, why it is called small signal operation is, usually we are going to give input signal, a small input signal, right? Because we want to amplify it. Nobody will be giving very high in current and they try to amplify it. So we are going to amplify a small values into a bigger value at the output side. So that small values or small signals which we are giving is an, it might be an AC value. So that's why this topic is known as small signal operations. Okay. So if anyone remembers, if you have done the open-ended experiment genuinely, then you'll remember. Can anyone tell me what was the input voltage we had given for in the open-ended experiment of ED lab? What was the input voltage we had given?
15 volts.
15 volts. Okay. Hmm. Anybody? What was the input given? Input voltage given to the open-ended experiment. See, open-ended experiment was voltage divider bias. Yes, try out. What was the value given? Nobody remembers.
12 volts, sir.
12 volts. Okay. So if you give 12 volts, what was the output you are getting? What is the maximum output you have obtained? Yes, a maximum output voltage, right? While finding out gain, you take out V naught by V in. I'm asking, what is the input voltage you are given, not the DC voltage. DC voltage is to bias the transistor to fix the operating point. I'm asking about input. AC input you have given, no? That part I'm asking. See, that was 50 millivolt. So when you give 50 millivolt, you are getting around 6 to 8 volt. Okay. So this was the maximum voltage which you are getting based upon when you keep on changing the frequencies. You are getting the voltages, and the peak voltage, the maximum voltage was 6 to 8 volts. You might have got. See, here we have given 50 millivolt. No, this is our small signal voltage. So this is what we are discussing here. Now you are telling that 12 volts or 12 volts. See, if you give 12 volts, you will not get output at all. Output as a sine wave, because DC. How much you are giving the DC supply? Anybody remembers? Plus VCC was how much?
12 volts, sir.
Yeah,
12
12
volts.
volts.
12
12
volts, sir.
volts. And according to the saturable property, so according to the saturable property, based upon the value of the VCC, your output is going to be decided. If your if your VCC is 12 volt, then your output can be maximum 12 volt peak to peak. It cannot go beyond 12 volt. If it tries to cross this 12 volt, then it starts clipping. So that's why if you give input as 12 volt, it will not give you output greater than that. You might get 12 volts only because your VCC is 12 volt. Okay, so that's why input should be given 50 millivolt, and also not only it will be giving 12 volts, it starts clipping up. Suppose you have given input as sine wave, then you can observe you'll get a square wave because it has clipped that extra voltage on the both the sides. That is what actually happens in the transistor. So VCC is the one which is going to decide the operating point as well as output swing. So what is the maximum output you can get? Because in our experiment what we have done, plus VCC was 12 and minus VE was 0. So swing is from 0 to 12. But suppose if it was VE is minus 12, as we have done some problems, then your output swing will be 24 volt. You can swing from plus 12 to minus 12. So then it is allowed till 24 volt. But we have given 12 volt and other end 0. Okay. So why I told all these things is, see, input is a small signal which we are giving and which we want to amplify. If you are having 12 volts, then you cannot amplify that 12 volts by having VCC of 12 volts. You need to increase this VCC. Then if you are increasing the VCC, again the design of the entire circuit changes. So here, this 50 millivolt is our small signal, that is our AC voltage, which is going to be amplified into this. So this is our instantaneous current, which has the combination of AC as well as DC. And obviously we know that we are going to use coupling capacitor to remove that the unwanted DC, and we are going to get the pure AC. This is what the story behind this. So now moving ahead, so now what is small I, small c? What is small I, small c?
Instantaneous current.
Yeah. Okay. Now, what is this?
So AC voltage,
AC voltage, which is applied between base and
base and
emitter.
emitter.
If I write like this,
DC voltage, sir, between base and emitter.
DC voltage, which is present between the base and the emitter. This one.
Instantaneous voltage, sir.
Hmm. Instantaneous voltage, which is the combination of AC and DC. So this should be in your mind. Okay. Now we'll take in the first part is the collector current and transconductance. So for collector current, to find out the collector equation for collector current and transconductance, we will consider a small amplifier circuit. This is Vs. This is VCE. So now here we have given, we are using source, voltage source, which is giving out some signal which we need to amplify by using this amplifier circuit. It is a simple amplifier circuit we are using. And on what basis we can tell it is an amplifier circuit?
So can you repeat, sir?
On what basis we can tell it is an amplifier circuit, or this transistor is going to act as an amplifier?
So common emitter configuration, sir.
Yes, this is in common emitter configuration. So this will be obviously acting as an amplifier if you are going to properly bias the transistor by using plus VCC. Now the voltage which is given by this source, no, so it will be VBE, because it is the AC source we are considering, and this is the AC voltage. And why it is VBE? Because it is the voltage which is applied between the base and the emitter we are having. So now, and we are having, this is a DC source we are having, VBE. Now for this, the signal VBE is superimposed on the DC bias voltage VBE to give the total instantaneous base emitter voltage. So this I'll repeat again. The AC signal VBE is superimposed on the DC bias voltage VBE to give instantaneous base emitter voltage. So from this, what happens is we will be getting VBE is equal to VBE plus VBE. So this is our AC, DC, and this is our instantaneous voltage. Now, the output collector current, you know that it's a function of the base emitter voltage, because if you are going to reduce the if you are going to have more input signal, obviously the collector signal will also be increased, because from where you are getting the base current, we are getting the base current from the supply. Whatever the supply is giving, the same thing is acting like a base current. Yeah. So now the collector current which we will be getting at the output side will be mainly dependent upon the base emitter voltage, and it is independent of collector emitter voltage. I repeat again. So output collector current is function of only the base emitter voltage, and it is independent of collector emitter voltage. Can you tell me why it is independent of VCE? The collector current, whatever we are getting here, is independent of VCE.
Sir, because the terminal is grounded, sir. V equals to 0.
Any other answer?
So IC current depends on IB, and IB changes due to VBE. So the base voltage.
Yes, correct. So here IC depends upon, as we told, IC is a function of base emitter voltage and base current. So there is no dependency on VCE. So based upon this, we can give the relationship as IC is equal to IS e to the power of VBE divided by VT. So here IC is the collector current which we are obtaining at the output side, and VBE, see, small v capital B, that means instantaneous voltage, which is the combination of DC as well as AC. And what is VT? You might have seen this VT in many cases. VT.
So is it the thermal voltage?
Yes, it's the thermal voltage. So by using this, and this is our source current. This source current basically in the next level it becomes the base current, but we are considering it as the source current as of now. Now, if you are going to substitute, so take this as equation 1 and this as equation 2. So now substituting 1 in 2. So when you substitute equation 1 in 2, so we will be getting sorry, this one is instantaneous current. This should be small I. Since it is output, not it is combination of both. I capital C. Just change this I capital C. Now, so in the next step, when you are going to substitute 1 in 2, then we will be getting IC is equal to IS e to the power of VBE plus VBE by VT. So this is the equation which you are going to obtain. See, when you are going to consider the thermal voltage and the VBE, so VBE and the thermal voltage, we are going to consider this input signal is very small when it is considered with respect to the thermal voltage. So basically, what do you mean by thermal voltage? What is thermal voltage?
So when you apply some energy to this one, the electrons get a energy. Like there's a voltage, there'll be a flow of electrons due to that energy supplied. So that voltage, when what is created, is called as thermal voltage.
Can you repeat again?
So when
the potential difference caused when electrons get excited due to thermal energy only is called as thermal voltage.
Thermal voltage.
Okay. So what will be the whether this thermal voltage will be greater or smaller than the base to emitter voltage?
Smaller.
Smaller, sir.
Smaller? Yes, it will be smaller only. But when it is considered, see, smaller in the sense it might be around 0.027 something like this. So when you are going to consider 0.027, and if you are considering the base to emitter voltage is still lesser value, let us take it is 10 millivolt. Now, which is greater among these two?
0.027.
So 25 milliamp.
This is smaller compared to this?
No, sir, that's bigger, greater.
This is greater, right? So
VT is greater, sir.
VT is greater than VBE. So for our approximation here, let us consider VBE is very much lesser than VT. So when you are going to consider that, if this approximation is considered, and we are going to expand this above equation because it is in the exponential form. When you are going to expand the exponential in series, so expand the exponential in series and consider the first two terms. So we will be expanding this and we'll be considering only the first two terms. So when you are going to expand this exponential and consider only the first two terms, then you will be getting IC is approximately equal to IC into 1 plus, this is again the small one, VBE by VT. So this is what the equation we are going to get. So here we are going to consider, this is the equation which we are writing for the collector current, and this is capital C and this is also capital C. So this you should remember, no need of expanding this and writing. So just remember this step. So when you are going to expand, during that time we are going to consider the first two terms and we will be getting this equation. So how do we got? By expanding the exponential in series and considering the first two terms. Now if I am going to multiply this, then I will be getting IC plus IC by VT into VBE. This is the equation we are going to get. Let us take this as equation number 3, this is equation number 4, this is equation number 5. And you might have one question, so this was IS, how come it became IC? See, this is the equation which we are trying to obtain for the output collector current. When you are considering output collector current, this IS has got already converted to IC. Based upon IC is equal to beta times IB. Based on that, we write in the place of IS, we are going to write IC. Now, again on comparing this combined equation with our basic instantaneous collector current equation. So basic instantaneous collector equation means what? I capital C is equal to I capital C plus I small c. So this is instantaneous current, this is DC, this is AC. Okay, so take this as equation number 4. Now from the equation number 4, sorry, here I left out VT and VBE. IC capital I capital IC by VT into VBE. Okay, so now from this equation, when you are going to compare this with our instantaneous equation, that is small I is equal to capital IC plus small I small c. When you compare, take this as equation number 5. On comparing equation 4 and 5, what will be the AC current will be getting?
Sir, don't tell us that entire thing. One second.
Okay. So when you compare equation number 4 and 5, what will be the AC current you will be getting?
Sir, IC by VT into VB.
Yes. So IC is equal to IC by VT into VBE. So take this as equation number 6. So this is our AC current which we are going to get finally at the output side. Now after this IC, I by V. Okay, I by V. What does I by V gives? See, V by I gives resistance. I by V gives
Conductance.
conductance. That is transconductance. transconductance. And this IC and VT, these are the parameters of what? Whether they are the values obtained from the supply or they are the values which are present in the transistor. Say IC, DC collector current, VT, thermal voltage. Where is this thermal voltage obtained? Is it obtained across RC? Is it obtained across source?
In the transistor, sir, across
In the,
PN junction.
across the PN junction. And collector current, DC collector current, this is going to flow through the transistor only. So now this I by V can be written as IC by VT. So this can be rewritten as the transconductance is given as GM is equal to IC by VT. IC by VT. So take this as equation number 7. So now, once you get the transconductance is equal to IC by VT, again putting 7 in 6, what you will get? IC is equal to GM into VBE. Okay, so these are the relationships which we are going to obtain in this particular derivation, the collector current and transconductance. Okay, so this is what if they are asking you derive the expression for the collector current and transconductance, or derive the expression for a relationship between collector current and transconductance, you have to do all these things. I'll just summarize what we did in this particular topic. See, first we considered the total instantaneous base to emitter voltage, which is the combination of DC base to emitter voltage and AC base to emitter voltage. After that, we took a relationship for the output collector current and with respect to the source current, and we wrote the equation in exponential form. And we know that the collector current is only dependent upon base to emitter voltage, not upon the collector to emitter voltage. We wrote IC is equal to IS e to the power of VBE by VT. Then we are going to substitute for VBE. VBE is equal to the same capital VBE plus small VBE, and after that we are going to expand the exponential in series and we'll consider the first two terms. When we consider the first two terms, then we'll obtain IC is equal to capital IC plus IC by VT into VBE. So once you are done with that, the next part is we are going to compare that equation with our general form of collector current equation. In general form of collector current equation, we know that small I capital C is equal to capital IC plus small I small c. So when we compare these two, we are going to get the equation for the collector current. And again, we are going to consider capital IC by VT. So it is I by V, which is always a conductance. So since we are talking about transistor, it's transconductance, and this transconductance is mainly the inherent characteristics of the transistor. So based upon this transconductance only, your output current is going to increase. See here, transconductance is dependent upon what? Transconductance is directly dependent upon the collector current. So if this collector current is increasing, the transconductance is keep on increasing. And this collector current is which type of collector current we are considering? We are considering DC, right? Because if your Q point is at a good level, then obviously the conductivity will increase and output current will also increase. That is the meaning of this. And also in the last step, what we do is we are going to substitute the transconductance in the place of IC by VT, and we are going to obtain this equation. So this is about this collector current and transconductance equation. So after this, the next part is base current and input resistance. Base current and input resistance. So base current, as usual, we know that the base current is a factor of collector current, and we can separate the base current into direct current component and small signal component again. That is, we can write it as small I capital B is equal to capital I capital B small b. So this is how we can split it up. Now let us plot the VI characteristics considering the base current and the base to emitter voltage. In all the cases we were plotting IC versus VCE. Here, since we are talking about the base current, we will we are going to plot the graph base current versus base to emitter voltage. So now this is one such graph we are getting, and let us assume the Q point is here. This is the Q point. So this is our slope. Okay, what is the formula for the slope?
So y component by x component.
That is fine, but with
IB,
respect to
IBB.
how we are getting slope value? Okay, IB by VB, fine, correct. How can we write that in terms of resistance? In terms of resistance,
Is equal to 1 by R.
is equal to 1 by R. Okay, so here we are talking about the resistance which is existing between the base and the emitter because it is input resistance. So base to emitter resistance is always represented as R pi. You can even represent it as VRBE also, but we represent it as R pi. Okay, so now coming to this, and one more thing you should remember. This
Okay,
was
repeat what do we denoted by R pi?
yes, R pi.
So
See,
why is R pi, sir?
it is a representation. Pi is the representation used for base to emitter voltage,
Okay, sir.
or base to emitter terminals. That's why it is pi. Okay, instead
sir.
of writing RBE, we write it as R pi. Now, see, for the current voltage, see, I'll tell three things: current, voltage, resistance. Among these three, which are the variable components we are having? Current, voltage, resistance. Among these three, which are the variable components, which is the constant component?
So resistance is constant.
Yes, resistance is constant and other two are variable.
Variable.
So as we know this, what we are going to Yeah, as we know this, only this nomenclature, whatever we used, I, capital B, I, capital I, capital B, small b, this is applicable, this nomenclature, whatever we discussed till now, till the last derivation, is applicable for this variable values. But when it comes to the resistance, which is the constant values, for the resistance, please remember, if you write like this is the external resistance. Okay, if you write like this is the internal resistance. Okay, and the word instantaneous is used only the parameter which are going to vary instantly. Do you think the base resistance or a resistance value will change instantly with respect to time?
No, sir.
Resistance will not change. It's a constant parameter. Okay, that's why don't get confused. This confusion you might be getting. So there he told small letter indicates AC, and here he is telling it is internal resistance or the resistance of the transistor. Yes, if you write both capital letters, then it is the external resistance which you are connecting externally. If you take a 10 kilo ohm resistor and you are going to connect, that is the external resistance. You have to write it in capital letters. If inside the transistor, if it is having some resistance, that is indicated by small letters RB. Okay, see, that's why here you can observe in this graph, this is also capital, this is also capital, but the resistance is in small, because these two parameters are the parameters of the transistor in keeping the Q point, in fixing up the Q point, but the resistance is the internal characteristics of the transistor. That's why it is small letter. Don't get confused. So you should remember, so each and every point, if you remember, if you understand, then it will look very easy for you. Otherwise, you'll be not getting, so why we are taken capital letter, why we are suddenly taken small letter, all those things. Okay, now coming to the equation for this. So we know here we'll be having IBQ, the quiescent base current, and here we'll be having our voltage, the cut-in voltage, VBEQ. Now we will take the instantaneous base current. So instantaneous base current, can you give me a relationship for instantaneous base current and instantaneous collector current? Small I capital V is equal to small I capital C by beta. So this is what the equation which we have. See, it is similar. IC is equal to beta IB. The same thing we have written like this. Okay. Now, for instantaneous current, in the last topic, we have already obtained an equation. So what is that equation for IC? I capital C is equal to IC plus IC into VBE by VT. This is the equation we have obtained. So this is the equation number 1. This is equation number 2. Now substituting 2 in 1. See, here our intention is to find base current and input resistance. From this graph, we have got to know the base input resistance is R pi. Okay, now our intention is first to find out the base current. Later on, we'll find an equation for input resistance. So first, let us find the base current. Now, once you substitute 2 in 1, what you'll get? You'll be getting IC by beta plus VBE by VB into IC by beta into VT. So take this as equation number 3. Okay. So do we have any equation to replace this term or any term to replace these two terms?
GM.
GM. Yes. So now replace this because GM is equal to IC by VT. This implies IC by beta plus VBE by beta into GM. We are having. Okay. Now we have obtained this. This is capital. So now this is capital B. Capital B is equal to, because since we are substituting here also we can write to avoid the confusion, IB plus small ib. Okay, so our main intention is to find what? Whether to find the DC current or small signal current. In this particular topic, our main intention is to find small base current, that is small signal current. Small signal current means what? Whether it is an AC or DC? AC. So AC term is this one. So now take this as equation number 4 and this as equation number 5. So compare 4 and 5. So when you compare 4 and 5, we will be getting our small signal current as GM by beta into VBE. See, we just compare what is this in this position, what is this in position, what is this in this position. This is our instantaneous current, DC current, AC current. AC current is our small signal current. Okay, so this is the equation for base current. Now, small signal input resistance is obtained by looking into the base, and considering the resistance between the base and the emitter. By looking into the, see, usually what we do is, well, these words you should remember. Whenever we are talking about input resistance, we tell looking into. But when you talk about output resistance, we tell looking back, because this is input and this is output. So output is, to find the output, we have to look in this direction. To find input resistance, we have to look in this direction. That's why we use this word, looking into the base and emitter resistance. In the same way, if they are asking for output resistance, we tell looking back between the collector and emitter terminal. Okay, so small signal input resistance is defined as the resistance between base and the emitter by looking into the base. I repeat it again because I'll ask the questions again tomorrow. It is defined as the resistance between base and emitter looking into the base. Okay. Now, the last part of this derivation is we need to find the equation for R pi. So R pi, So for this R pi, and here, since we are going to find the input resistance considering the small signal analysis or small signal values, what will be our other parameter? See, for resistance means, what are the other two things you will get? V by I, right? So now I'm telling, listen to my question. I want the resistance considering small signal. Now tell me what should be your V and what should be your I. Now I want the R pi, the base resistance considering small signal.
AC current and AC voltage, sir.
Yes, very good. So it is VBE by IB. This is the equation which we are going to use for R pi. So this is known as base emitter input resistance. Also, it is known as diffusion resistance. Okay, so this is about the base current and input resistance equation. So after this, we are having emitter current and input resistance and voltage gain. So two more derivations that we can do in the next class.